in close ground positions, people just want to finish the game because they don't want to try and defend a third, fourth, and fifth base on
Yeah,
these close
it is very,
positions.
very difficult. Of course, the other thing is that the big advantage of Zerg and expanding is that they have that huge mobility advantage, but they only have the mobility advantage because of creep. And, not a whole lot of creep going on here, so I think he could definitely. Ha! Look at WhiteRa's distance mining from the middle. Oh man, a few Mulisks could shut that down so easily.
Yeah.
But it is 3 base to 2, and Blizzopticon should take a fourth because he is in quite a commanding lead. Setting in Roaches, gonna kill off most of those probes.
Uh, it
WhiteRa
WhiteRa
can't
has
smite.
no income whatsoever right now. Blizzopticon can really just sit back, um, mass up a 200 army, considering he has minerals and WhiteRa does not. He literally has no more minerals. This is his
Yes, he's
army.
taking a fourth.
And yes, Blizzopticon is deciding to take a fourth, so let's see if Blizzopticon can even out. He's in a great position right now. Oh, we see WhiteRa gonna take his probes. Looks like he's gonna do an all-in here counterattack. Knows he has to do it as quickly as possible because he can't let Blizzopticon mass up too much here. This is his only chance. Gonna engage the army here outside of space using at least one of these photon
Oh,
cannons.
and the
Gonna get a
probe's still
ton of
following.
kills.
Oh, the probes were still following. For a second, it looked like he was gonna get a bunch of free probe kills, but on the production tab, you don't see any units being built.
He has no
That's not
money.
right.
And it looks like WhiteRa's army is going to get decimated here. And it looks like we're going to be
That's
going into game number 3.
it's gonna be game. Yep. Fourth base on the way out. Lost army for WhiteRa dead. He's gonna have to GG here. Quite an entertaining game. Uh, some flawed timings by Blizzopticon, but as a whole, a very entertaining and a very well played game by Blizzopticon, taking out WhiteRa quite easily. Once he did find out that the third base was there, taking advantage of mobility and his faster units, except for when he attacked those Hydras, which is not particularly intelligent. But overall, outplaying WhiteRa and taking him down.
And it looks like the car alarm has stopped.
That is such good news.
So I have no idea when the police got here.
Did you? I'll get there, man. Did you already?
We're looking at Lost Temple here. Sorry, I just got up to open my window. We're looking at Lost Temple from WhiteRa. I'm going to go see if Blizzopticon will veto. It is fine. Alright, so gonna go ahead and create this game. Um, Lost Temper. Lost Temper right after Metaroparisa. So we're looking at 1-1 here. Corey.
I'll. Oh, you're doing it. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, after that game, that was. I mean, both players were playing at pretty much the same level. If WhiteRa's diamond, then so is Blizzopticon. And based on the timings of the expansions, based on the decision making in terms of what to do, once both players saw that the thirds were up, they both committed quite a lot of units to the opponent's third, and frankly, uh, frankly, that was pretty even play
Yeah.
actually by Blizzopticon coming out ahead in decision making just a little bit.
Green tea is damn good with a little bit of
I
sugar.
had like 3 cups earlier.
Oh god, that's tasty.
Really good.
So tasty. I can't believe we have a best of 5 to look forward to after this. But we are going into game number 3 here in the round of 4, the semifinals of the ASC Weekly number 5 Gold and Platinum Division, spawning at the 7:30ish, maybe 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock position here on Lost Temple. We have Blizzopticon, the Green Zerg, and at the 6 o'clock position we have the Pretty Purple Protoss. We have WhiteRa, who is probably not the WhiteRa that you are probably familiar with. Just want to make that clear one more time. Herp-de-derp, little announcements. We moved over to Justin TV because there's some pretty good folk. For those people that are watching live, you can see that there are multiple resolutions that you can choose from, which is nice because we are now streaming in full-on 1280 by 720 HD, which a lot of people could not view before because their internet connections actually just could not handle it. So I had to lower the resolution settings so that they could actually watch. Otherwise, it would just be laggy for them. So, very cool move. But there are, of course, a few little things that are going to be different. VODs are very, very different. But we can now upload to YouTube very easily. So stay tuned for that, or you can just watch all the VODs, hopefully on ASCW Weekly and Justin.tv. So, getting to the game here. Again, pretty standard so far. Not a whole lot to talk about. Standard. For anyone that watches Cats, they will get that and probably LOL IRL.
I've got something to fill the time with. I've
Cool.
got it.
Let's do it.
Here's WhiteRa's biggest problem so far that I've seen. His gameplay seems to revolve around getting a 2-base Colossus ball and hoping it wins. And of course, in the lower levels of play, that's actually kind of effective because a lot of players don't know how to effectively deal with that. The issue with it is that first of all, it takes a long time to get. Also, as a side note, gas before pool. So we're going to see expand into roaches coming from Blizzopticon. And looks like we're going gas core, so standard from WhiteRa. And the problem with the big Colossus ball is that usually players, once they either lose their Colossus tech, lose enough mining so that they can't build Colossus anymore, or if their plan is in any way interrupted, they're so dependent on that exact straight line of play that if it gets interrupted any way, they completely fall apart. And we saw that in the last game. WhiteRa, once he lost those Colossi, started just crumbling because he doesn't know how to transition into anything else, transition out of Colossi. He doesn't know how to properly utilize gateway units. And my advice to him, if anything, would be to really, really focus, play a few games where you focus purely on gateway units. And you're probably going to lose a lot because gateway units aren't particularly powerful unless you use them exactly right. But typically they're not particularly powerful. So, but if you do practice with them, then you'll find that once you do have the Colossus ball, you're a lot less reliant on the Colossus, and if for some reason you lose them, or for some reason you have to transition into something else, you'll still be okay because you'll have that understanding of that core composition.
Very, very good advice there. It does look like WhiteRa is 4-gating here. Would obviously probably do a lot more damage on close ground positions. We are, of course, on close air positions, but choosing not to do any kind of air play here, which is kind of unfortunate. I'd like to see that. Having that gas up for a while, not finally just putting some harvesters on it. Looks like he's going to go for this is a pretty standard 4 warp gate, except for this forge, if I'm not mistaken, right? And getting that fast upgrade again.
Standard 4 warp gate would be hitting. You would have your gateways out right about now, and they'd be opening. You'd be warping in units right now, and then they'd be warping in. Then you'd be moving out right now, and then you'd be hitting your opponent's base right about now.
So that forge obviously delaying things like crazy.
Yeah. Instead, he just now gets these 6 units out. These upgrades really delaying things, and the worst thing of all of it is he's blowing a lot of chrono boost on that. It's killing his economy because he's had to cut probes to get it all out, which you do with the normal 4 warp gate anyway. But and he gets +1/+1. If anything, just get +1 attack so that your zealots can 1-shot or 2-shot zerglings rather, as opposed to 3-shotting them, and then move in. If you're going to do this kind of build, and make it a timing attack so that when your +1 finishes, you attack instead of getting +1/+1, chrono boosting the crap out of it, and then waiting around for a while, then attacking, because that's incredibly cost inefficient. Allows your opponent to get up a lot more than you'd like him to have, especially in a PvZ. And of course, in the meantime, your Zerg opponent is just droning hard, or he should be, uh, and way upping you in economy. And then the end result of playing so inefficiently is that a really top, like if this were a top level game, the Zerg would have probably 35 or so drones and still be able to get enough units out to defend this push pretty easily. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying that that Blizzopticon is terrible. I'm just saying, and obviously that's the trick of Zerg is like figuring out all those timings. But ultimately, I feel like this 4-gate is not very effective. Uh, a couple good force fields, but not good enough. Only taking down one Zergling and completely revealing his army. Although he is going to supply cap Blizzopticon, I think he needs to get this Overlord out of the path of destruction here. And in the production tab, we should be seeing a lot of roaches on the way.
It looks like WhiteRa is going to get that forward pylon down. What's Blizzopticon trying to do? Losing a lot of Zerglings for nothing. He's probably going to push in as this pylon finishes. Gonna supply cap him again. Actually, both players supply capped right now, although this pylon is about to finish, so we'll be able to warp in a few things. But it looks like Blizzopticon's gonna push out, try and get a couple free kills. Nope, not gonna work. These Zealots up perfectly placed up front to take a lot of the damage. Nice force fields trapping a couple of roaches there. Probably just wants to push in, wants to keep his aggression up, does not want to relent, does not want to let Blizzopticon have a moment to breathe. There he goes, gonna do that. Zealots, unfortunately, not up front at the beginning of the fight, so a lot of Stalkers taking a lot of hits, but it doesn't matter at this point. Those roaches are just gonna get totally slaughtered by this army. This Spinecrawler and Queen are trying to do their best, but they're both gonna go down. This hatchery will go down. This looks like it's gonna be a quick GG from Blizzopticon.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. This is a very, very difficult push to stop. 4-gate, of course, is a very potent, powerful build, very easy to execute. If anything, I guess what I could say off